What's up, guys? Welcome back to Kinda Funny's MCU in Review, Episode 3. Week 1, we did Iron Man. Week 2, we did The Incredible Hulk. Now, we're doing Iron Man 2. Every single week leading up to Avengers Infinity War, we are going to discuss and rank all of the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. You can watch along with us every Tuesday at 9 a.m. on youtube.com/kindafunny or podcast services around the globe, including iTunes. You can go to iTunes and search for Kinda Funny Reviews, and you'll get it there.
Hashtag
some bullshit?
MCU
Do you have
review.
some bullshit?
No.
No?
I caught it. I caught Greg's looking at me out of the corner of my eyes. And I looked over and he was giving me that
looking at you.
look.
You
Like,
could
do
taste
you have some bullshit? I was like, I don't have any bullshit.
Christ.
He said, I don't have any bullshit
I'm
either.
just ready for Nick to do it. He's gonna be
Yeah.
funny this episode.
I'm gonna crush this
Yeah, I can't
episode.
wait.
It's going to be good.
Crush this episode.
So, as we do every single episode, we are going to discuss the plot, villain, action, comedy, universe building, and standaloneness of this movie, including the post-credit scene, talking about all that. And then we're going to, at the end of the episode, rank it where it falls within this whole universe. A lot of people have been pointing out some really good things of how we can make this show better, including starting off talking about the plot and what actually happens in the movie. And when we do the ranking, to have more of a visual understanding of where things rank. We're not quite there yet. We'll do the
Whiteboard.
plot in this episode.
Whiteboard.
We're making an image that's going to have all the rankings, but since we're still so early on,
Well, we
it's
don't really
easy-
need that. There's 3 movies right now.
Exactly.
You guys can
It's
extrapolate.
easiest for us to
You're
understand.
just
Did you
overthinking it. Cool, Greg. Get me a rag. Maybe your shirt. Just take
We're
off
gonna
your
make it
shirt.
look better than that, and
Did
it's
you
gonna
see a
come
whiteboard
soon.
Did you see your best
marker?
friend sent us a spreadsheet that he had built for us?
I did.
It's right there.
Yeah. So
I like it a lot.
It's going to be a good time, and he's going to make something that matches everything. It's going to be pretty.
Oh, so it's just gonna be fucking Gundams.
Gonna be
Gundams
so
showing
many
us how
Gundams.
cool everything
Put-
is.
Hide one Gundam in there,
Just
at least.
one.
Just one.
That's
There
going to
it
be
is.
great. Let's start with the facts here. Iron Man 2, released on May 7th, 2010. Now, interesting thing about that, I noticed you, Greg. I noticed you thinking, but Tim, isn't that like 2 years after the other one?
Yeah.
You'd be correct.
Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah,
Wow.
1 year and 11 months after The Incredible Hulk.
Interesting.
Yeah, this movie, when you really think about it, is kind of the birth of the MCU really being a thing. Where this was
around
the
the
first time
rail,
where they're
yeah.
like, we're making a movie that needs to have a bunch of things setting up the rest of the movies. Because, Iron Man 1 set off the MCU, but Incredible Hulk was just kind of there and like, how can we retroactively fit a bunch of shit in here?
I think they did
Iron
a
Man
decent
2,
job with
boom. With
the-
Hulk?
Yeah.
Impressed the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
But anyways, here we go. Directed by Jon Favreau, once again. Budget of $200 million. The original Iron Man, $140 million. So substantially more than that. Box office of $623.9 million.
Damn.
Making hand over fist money there. Really good.
Hand over fist money.
Iron Man 1, $585 million. So we're starting to see that kind of uptick rise in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Before we get into the plot, what'd you guys think about it? Gut reaction.
Wow. It's rare. And I don't know if it's ever happened, but it's rare that Greg Miller is wrong about something.
Really? Okay.
And I
Wow.
remember being like, I hated Iron
What
Man
did I
2.
fucking tell
Iron
ya?
Man
What did I
2
tell ya?
sucked.
Did you?
Yeah,
Did you say that?
Whiplash
Oh.
was a dumb thing. Damn it. And I watched the movie. I'm like, this is fun. This is a fun movie as usual.
I can only recollect a few scenes where I was like, oh, this is kind of bad. But for the most part, I enjoyed it. I thought the humor was great. Fucking Justin Hammer, just phenomenal. I love Sam Rockwell.
Yeah, I
I
forgot
thought
all
he did
about how
a
good he
kick-ass
was.
job. And again, when I first saw it, I knew in my heart of heart, Greg,
Yeah.
that Iron Man 2 better than Iron Man 3. We'll see how I still feel
I mean,
when we
I'm
get to
not
that.
gonna-
I'm very excited to get to that
We'll
point.
see how I still
What do you
feel.
mean you're not going to? Earlier,
but I've
haven't you
always
in the past
been-
said that?
No, I'm an Iron Man 3 guy. Shush,
Since the
let me
time
talk
that we
and you'll
talked
know
about
what
Iron Man 2 on the Game Over Greggy show, I've been championing it. And I was shocked by, wow, it isn't as bad as everybody was
Yeah.
saying. I really enjoyed it.
I totally agree. I thought the same thing about Incredible Hulk, thought the same thing about this. I am shocked. This MCU review is the best thing we ever did. I'm going back and like, these movies, not only are they not that bad, I'm like, they're anywhere from decent to pretty damn good.
Yeah.
I'm happy about this. And if this is as bad as the MCU gets, we're in a good place.
Well, we're not to Thor yet.
we haven't been to the Thors, Thor 1 or 2.
But that's next. I'm excited.
We'll see.
Now that'll be the real thing. I'm the same with you guys. Where I watch this, I'm like, God damn it, I'm having fun. This is a great movie. Like, well,
Not great.
Not great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But very enjoyable
But good,
movie.
right?
And it has a lot of parts that I'm like, oh, they managed to actually rekindle some of that fun charm between him and Pepper Potts, him and Happy, right? Not Lucky.
Yeah.
They had a lot of great set. I mean, it's a fun movie, and I remember like now looking at that, looking at Thor, looking at Dark World, it'll be interesting to see if when we watch Thor again, we're like, huh, okay, not as bad as I remember it. Because my memory of Thor, and not to skip too far ahead into the week, is that I liked the dynamic, but I remember not liking the action too much. So let's see if my prediction still holds true on that.
I looking back at this one, I wonder if it has something to do with what you're talking about with the timing, that it was 2 years between these movies. Maybe I must have built it up in my head what I wanted from another Iron Man. I must have been ready for them to do a bigger story, I guess. But now after we've had Avengers and this universe to come back and see this, is like, oh, this is just a fun movie.
Written by Justin Theroux.
Weird. I know.
Yeah.
I kept seeing that. I was like, why did Justin Theroux write this? And I think I looked it up. It's because he had written something that that Favreau had worked on as well. I forgot what movie it was.
Just trust
Do you have
him.
that in any of your trivia?
No.
I can't remember. I'll look it up in a second. But yeah,
Why
I guess
is Justin Theroux a name? Who is he?
Justin Theroux is a star of The Leftovers. He's also Jennifer Aniston's husband.
He's an actor.
He was the cameo of the guy, the code breaker hacker guy in Star Wars when they go to Canto Bight.
Oh, that's right.
He's the guy, the real hacker that they aren't able to
okay.
get with a little mustache. That's Justin Theroux.
He's Jennifer Aniston's married. She found love.
Yeah.
That's great.
and and this man, go ahead and Google
think
this.
they might
Pause
be
this if you want.
divorced now.
The best body I've ever seen of all time.
I feel like they might be divorced now.
This dude's
actually.
chest. Oh, really?
Yeah. He either
His
worked
chest
with
is unbelievable.
He either worked with Favreau or Robert Downey Jr. on something, but apparently that was the get there. But it's weird. It's weird seeing his name pop up. I'm like, oh, maybe there's another one. And I clicked on it. No, sure
Like,
shit.
no, it's
on
him.
IMDb, it's him, which is great. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But Greg, going off what you're saying about the releasing of this, so this was almost 2 years after Incredible Hulk, and then after this, Thor was a year later, and then from Thor on, there's 2 a year.
That makes sense.
Good.
Iron Man
Has
2
it
and
always been
Thor,
2 a year?
at least two.
Oh,
At least
okay.
two.
We've
Some
hit
years have
3.
had 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, but you have to imagine, and if I remember the stories correctly, like a lot of that, like this 2 years sounds crazy, but Favreau really complained about how rushed they were and how much meddling that they did, like how many times that Marvel was like, we're getting it right, like, we got something, you got to keep shoehorning
That's why he
shit
stopped
in.
doing it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he stopped doing it. If you remember, Shane Black came back for the third one, or
Jennifer
came in for the third one.
Aniston still married to this nobody
That's what
guy
I
you're
thought.
talking about.
Nobody.
Look, he's
look at
great
his
in The
writing
Leftovers,
credits.
man.
But Tim, I was
watch it.
shocked
I don't
because
like
I
Thanksgiving
remember
stuff.
2 things specifically being bad, like the drone fight scene and then the final fight. And rewatching it, I was like, that was not what I remembered it
Not
at all.
Exactly.
At all.
In my head, for the final fight scene between him and McGregor, one of the things that I remember being like a stupid Guy Gardner versus Batman one punch thing, and it like still wasn't like a great
Yeah.
fight, but it wasn't like he just got clowned out. And not to mention that I was like, oh, I kind of feel for this guy. I like where his head's at, why he's doing this stuff.
Yeah, villain wise, he was cool. And we'll get into that in a second. I do
Sorry,
want to
I mean,
talk.
I
I do
know
want to talk about the plot, but just to finish this point off, I agree with you, Greg, with what you're saying. I remember it being like a one punch thing. I feel like the way they killed him and handled it, or not killed him, but defeated him and all that was great. The one thing I still didn't like was that he is just in a giant Ironmonger suit.
Of course.
Or
Yeah.
Warmonger suit.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
like,
Yeah, that was one of the things too that struck me. I was like, oh man, this is literally Iron Man, where the first 2/3 of it are really, really fun, and the last part you're like, oh, it's a little rushed. But there, just to clarify, sorry, Justin Theroux worked on Tropic Thunder. He wrote Tropic Thunder.
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense. So for the plot of this movie, Greg, do you want to give a kind of overview and we can fill in?
Sure, man. Tony Stark is Iron Man. Guess what? It's awesome.
Iron Man.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Give me the backing track to all this. Gary Shandling, he fucking hates Iron Man and Tony Stark.
sure does.
And they introduced him to the MCU, which I forgot all about.
That's another thing.
Forgot
I feel like
about,
rewatching these movies adds so much
What
because
a
you're like,
tapestry they've
oh, all those characters that you remember from
I mean,
the other
this is
movies.
Scarlett Johansson's
They were-
introduction.
yeah,
Totally
Black
forgot
Widow's
about that when
introduction.
she popped up undercover.
Hawkeye? Cliff Barton?
No, he's
He
not.
was
No,
in
he
it.
wasn't, he
Oh,
wasn't
I'm
in this
thinking
at
the
all.
next one.
Yeah.
I saw Thor last
Yeah,
time.
me too.
And he's like, Jeremy Renner.
I did extra credit.
Yeah, so Iron Man is Iron Man, and now the United States in particular is trying to deal with that. What do we do with this guy? Do we want to take away the suits? You can't take away suits. It's my property. I've made world peace. What you know is just calling down the thunder. It's like me when I'm like, nothing can stop kind of funny. And then guess what? Andy's got a sexual harassment suit.
Here
and
we
it all
go.
goes down the tubes.
Here we go.
Thanks for picking Andy instead of me on that one.
Oh, I mean, he's finally
He's
against
suing,
us.
yeah,
Oh,
us.
yeah.
He was suing you.
Still very much.
You are very involved in this suit.
Okay, that checks out. That makes more sense.
I absolutely loved the whole CNN scene.
Yeah.
I love the way it was shot. it was just so like artfully done.
scene-
I
you mean
loved
the
it.
Senate hearing?
Yeah, just
Yeah.
the whole
Yeah.
like the whole hearing, and then
It was
they would cut to it having the layover of like layover, like whatever you mean.
Overlay.
Thank
yeah.
you. The other
Chirons.
reverse it. Yeah. I loved the way all of that looked, and it's just like the cinematography just kind of kept you in there, you know.
Well, and it was just, it's what we want, all right? Robert Downey Jr. being Tony Stark and being funny and turning around to Pepper Potts and not really,
And
yes,
her
honey,
being
and like
like,
all that stuff.
no,
And like,
yeah,
it was
I
all that
loved
was
it.
great.
So plot wise, then
Sorry, while that's all happening, he's talking big about like, hey, we got world peace. Don't worry about it. It's all because of me. And you know what that is? That's bad. That's bad juju, as the kids say. Jump back over to old Mother Russia. Mickey Rourke's there, and he's Russian. So okay, that's cool.
He's got weird hair, man.
He's very Russian though.
His dad kicks the bucket, and Mickey Rourke then looks at some blueprints with his favorite pigeon.
And he goes,
It's actually a cockatiel. I know
Yeah.
the difference. Don't
Yeah.
worry, everybody.
That's okay.
And so yeah, it appears that, I mean, I'm just gonna jump it all around. You know what I mean? Jump.
Yeah,
all.
I like
his
this.
dad, of course, worked with Howard
Stark.
on the arc reactor that's now keeping Tony alive or whatever, but it's not doing a good job. We'll get to that later.
Palladium, very bad for your blood.
That's good. That's a good Mickey
thanks,
Rourke
man.
impression.
All the way to the
So he's got a chip on his shoulder. His dad's legacy's been hijacked by the Stark family, and he's going to take him down. And how's he going to do that? With electric whips. But we'll get back to that. Meanwhile, over in Tony Stark
You guys
land,
keeping stock of all the things we have to get back to.
he's got palladium poisoning, right? Like
I
it's
was really
just-
close to saying potassium, bad for your blood.
Potassium's good for your blood.
He's got this like fucking shit going up. He's starting to look like a Borg, and everybody's like, "Whoa!" But nobody knows. But we're all like, "Whoa!" as we watch it. So meanwhile. It is Stark Expo, which is just the World's Fair, but only for Stark stuff. And he's got some hot
Year
backup
long.
dancers, and they, it's a
it's a
year
pretty
long,
long.
which is Jen was like, "Did I hear that right?" And I'm like, I stopped it. I'm like, I think you did.
It seems bold.
He
Yeah.
has the best fucking entrance of
You know-
all
Yeah.
time.
Oh god, that was so
That
good.
scene was incredible.
In fucking incredible. Him
No, it's-
jumping
it's-
out of the plane.
It's actually not the best entrance of all time. It was up until Avengers. Do you remember when we see him when he kicks Loki? We'll get to that.
well, I'm talking
Pretty
about
much
like entrance in front of people.
But I
Oh
mean,
no,
like-
but I remember I saw that and I was like, I forgot about this, and then it got me super hyped for that shot
Yeah.
where Loki's fucking everyone else, and he comes in and just like
Destroys him.
forget it. Never mind. Continue.
It's this fucking Stark
We'll
Expo.
recap to that.
we'll get back to that in a couple episodes.
Sam Rockwell's involved around here. He's this guy. Well, he already showed up in the Senate hearing. He's trying to make his own Iron Man. Everybody's trying to make their own Iron Man
God
right
bless
now.
America. God bless Iron Man.
They can't fucking do it. They're all fucking up and they're all terrible.
I liked how he just pulled out his phone and like did this crazy hack thing.
Yeah.
It's like,
Well, so
let me
that's-
take over the
Tony Stark
screen.
did.
That
Yeah.
was awesome to me because Iron Man 1 had with their fucking
Flip phones.
LG
Yeah,
flip
right.
phones.
Yeah, yeah,
Finally, once it hits this movie, I'm like, okay, cool.
We've caught up to smart
we're reaching
devices.
tech that we're like,
Well, it's future
we still don't
technology
have
looking
that.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah,
here's
that
my
was
like
really
glass screen. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I want that phone because it looks like the phone. It looks like an iPhone 10, but if you
With
can actually see through it, which is cool. I was like, that's rad.
You'd complain that it'd be too hard to see.
I complain about everything. That's why I want it, Andy. If I can't complain about it, it's not worth having.
Good point.
So guess what's happening, guys?
Craig?
It's everybody's favorite French race, the Monaco, whatever the fuck, where people drive through the streets.
Daniel
and
Dwyer was there, apparently.
not this year.
You know who else was there? Elon Musk.
Elon
Yeah.
Musk.
Did you
Yeah,
notice
so-
that?
No, there was
Didn't
a couple
notice it the
cameos.
first time,
Did you
definitely.
see,
The Oracle guy's there too.
Yeah.
Who I don't know, but they're like the Oracle of Oracle. I'm like, oh, I get it. And then Oracle's like sponsoring the arena and everything. I got that. Who else is there?
Oh, I was gonna say Larry Ellison from Oracle.
Oh, that's who it is.
I was
Yeah.
very shocked to see Elon
So
Musk
the Elon
there.
Musk thing, I got a little share. Musk appears in the Monaco restaurant scene in Iron Man 2, and upon meeting him, Tony Stark remarks that Musk's Merlin engines, which are the propulsion engines SpaceX uses on its Falcon series of rockets, are fantastic. Musk responds by claiming that he's drafting a concept for an electric jet, something that he actually started working on in late 2015. Of
course he did.
In addition to his cameo, Musk's SpaceX facility in Hawthorne, California stands in for Justin Hammer's factory. In fact, the people walking around in the background are actual employees.
See, that would be the only thing if I were Elon Musk that I'd be pissed about. I'm like, you gave me Hammer's like facility instead of the Stark facility. I would rather my shit double for Stark, but that's neither here nor there.
I was kind of shocked to see it because my first reaction was, I didn't know Elon Musk was really that public of a figure in 2010. Like I
don't
just-
remember hearing about him until much later.
Yeah, until, like,
2010 does seem
2013
very
or
early.
something.
But
Yeah,
it's
it
cool
was-
to see that time capsule because you're
Yeah.
like, oh shit, yeah, no, that's him.
They
That's
just knew. They
legit.
just knew who's like the most Tony Stark people, right? Of
Sure,
our
yeah.
time. It's him and that Oracle.
He'd already
guy.
had his hair done by then.
But I also wonder.
let it go,
This is
man.
what I.
dude, let it go.
This is what I wonder, right? Because like you look at Oracle, you look at Larry Ellison. I think I'm getting that right. Ellison.
I don't know.
I think it's
I
Larry
just put down
Ellison,
Oracle guy.
head of Oracle. But then if you notice at the end, they're fighting in the Oracle arena. So
Yeah.
Oracle branding's all over that.
All
thing.
over it.
I'm wondering if they were one of the co-funders of the film, like if they're one of the
Probably had something
financiers,
going on.
It'd be interesting.
along with not Tesla, whatever.
They were all credited, SpaceX and all that. Was
Yeah,
credited.
so I'm
were.
guessing they put some money in there. They were like, oh, let's throw.
That
let's throw
arena
a-
does get blown up though.
Yeah, but
I mean,
glass,
but
just the glass.
saving the
Good,
day.
they have a bad basketball
it
team.
is-
Saving the day.
Don't they get like fully blown up? That's not a real arena though, is it?
Oracle Arena is where the Warriors play.
Well, yeah, but
that's not
one's
that
like
arena.
They
ball.
call it Roracle
Yeah,
because they're
we're-
really
but
loud,
We're
man.
not talking about that.
Yeah,
We're
but
talking
like
about real life.
that arena in the show was fake.
Yeah, you know,
All right.
matter of opinion.
That
So
one I
while
don't
we're
believe
at the
exists,
Monaco races, who shows up but that hammer guy? We're just going to call him Sam Rockwell from now on.
Okay.
And
Justin
he's
Hammer.
got that reporter from before, the
Leslie
Vanity
Benton.
Fair girl that he turned out and Tony Stark had a bad breakup with.
When I first watched the movie, didn't really remember her from the first one. Just because there's been so long in between
Right.
the
Oh,
two.
I see what you're saying. No,
Yeah.
I remembered her. Huge crush on her. They have some fun things exchanged, but while they're all bitching and being weird to each other and being snarky, Tony Stark slips outside, right? And then he comes out in his Stark racing outfit. He's like, I'll drive the race car.
Now, why did he do
What
that?
a douchey
Greg?
move.
He's gonna die. Why not live? Live for the day. His blood toxicity from the palladium poisoning continues to increase, and what he's got is these little Hershey bars he puts inside his little thing, and they melt. And he's like, fuck,
crispy.
I gotta get this out
They
of here.
look like
Do
when
it.
people
and then
take.
Don Cheadle's like, "You got this in your body."
Yeah, exactly. That did happen. That is a real thing that happens.
Good, Andy.
All right, and then Tony Stark's rubbing his racing all over the place out there, and he pissed off his driver. Very insulting to the sports
Very
car driver.
insulting.
Felt bad for him.
The guy spiked his helmet.
Exactly.
I didn't like that
Anger.
reaction. I kind of wish he just kind of did a.
that totally
But
makes
guess
sense.
who's walking around the Monaco 5000? It's none other than Mickey Rourke. Totally out of place, tattoos all
Whiplash.
over him, but he's in this like
You got
fucking
fake
jumpsuit.
passports, man. You got
Yeah.
fake everything.
True. And he gets out there with his fucking electric whip, starts whipping all the cars, smashing shit out. Yeah.
Which
So
was
cool.
fucking awesome.
So
Him
cool.
with the whips, him walking out and his uniform kind of burning
Yeah,
off
that
of
was
him.
cool.
Like,
That was cool.
This
That was
is
a great scene.
awesome.
One thing I could have done with with only one of the
cars
cut
getting
cars,
hit.
like it happened too many times.
Yeah, Ned, I will say that whole scene, for as cool as a lot of it was, God, it took me out of it in a way that Marvel movies usually don't, where I'm like, you're trying to tell me
He's
that-
whipping fast
that-
enough to stop a car coming at him.
Well,
No,
to like,
not that. That he's just standing there in a really tiny little raceway, and all these cars are just dodging
Well,
and
shout
stuff.
out to his timing because those cars on straightaways are going well over 100 miles an hour, and like it's
part of
he
his
just was like
Russianness.
boom, cut him
Part of
straight.
his
to
well, he was at a
everything
turn, right?
Tell
He
you
was
what
at
though,
a turn.
Yeah, turn would've been
Happy,
slower,
what a
sure.
great driver.
What a
Yeah.
great driver.
We haven't
Yeah,
gotten
we
there
went through
yet.
all of
We
it.
haven't
Driving-
gotten there yet. We haven't gotten
we
there
haven't
yet.
gotten there yet. Sorry.
So what do we do next? Happy and Gwyneth Paltrow, they get on the raceway with Tony Stark's briefcase that we don't know what it is, and Happy drives into oncoming traffic with all these cars. They're just dodging, no big deal. Then he hits Mickey Rourke at one point and slams him into the wall, and that should kill Mickey Rourke. Well, by this point, Robert Downey Jr.'s out of the car. He's getting whipped. He's dodging the whips.
Dodging and whips.
The whips that could hit cars going 100 miles an hour can't hit this fucking man just laying there on the ground, but I digress. He pins him against the wall, should shatter his pelvis, really fuck up his legs, but he's fine. He's Russian. And so
They make him tougher over there.
he starts whipping the car, and then the suitcase opens up. It's Iron Man suit. Oh, we get in the suit. We fight him.
What a cool scene that was.
So cool.
Holy
That was,
fuck.
that was the first time
we've
we'd seen
that.
something compact
Yeah.
like that, right?
Yeah.
Which,
Yeah.
by the way, we see echoed then later in the films with like
The handgun,
ones
yeah.
that come at him, and then the hand thing and all that stuff. That's really cool.
So yeah, the first time we see a cool, different use of the Iron Man suit, and also this movie, the first time we see the Iron Man
Suits
suit
laid
display,
out, right?
Which is
was,
iconic.
you know what I didn't pick up? A little Easter egg was that he had the original one that he had built in the cave, but it said like
Mark 1 V2 or whatever the fuck.
no, it said Mark 1, but it said underneath it said like it was not the original one. It was like a remake of it. Yeah, so he had actually gone through and like remade it or something like that. I don't know if it was from the original parts or not, but I had an extra little byline down there, which I
cool.
thought was cool.
And also, Happy and Pepper Potts in no rush to get out of the vehicle and get away from this.
Oh yeah,
scary
once he
man.
starts actually fighting
Yeah,
Iron Man,
they just-
They gotta help.
yeah, they're just like, oh
No, they didn't
Well,
help.
to be fair,
Well, yeah,
he
their
was
car-
they just stayed.
to be
car
fair,
was
he was
sliced in half.
slicing parts of the vehicle off. So every time they tried to go left, he like would slice left.
No, but
off
at
and
this
right
point,
and then
it's
half.
him and Tony, and they're just chilling there like, like they're just scared of him. It's like
They're screaming for
get
a
out
lot.
of the
I
fucking
love,
car.
I love when he refers to the suitcase as the football.
Yeah.
Did you catch it? He's like,
Yeah.
Give me the football. Give me the football.
Yeah.
Like the nuclear football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great.
So, Greg, I have a question here because this is one of the first times in these movies that I'm like, there's a plot hole that I want to discuss.
Lay it on me.
So, if we're talking plot, how the fuck did Mr. Whiplash. No, I'm going to go to this Monaco event because Tony Stark's going to be there. And you know what? He's going to drive a car.
No idea.
I don't think he knew that. I think he was just going to
the
fuck
plan.
up.
He
I
was
think
going
he
to
was
go
going
there.
to fuck
Tony.
everything up and wait for Tony to show up.
To get there.
He knew Iron Man would come out.
it.
He knew Tony
Okay.
Stark would be at the event. He didn't know he'd be driving.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Cool. See? That's
Yeah.
what this discussion
There
is
you
for.
go.
So there's this awesome fucking scene where the Whiplash guy gets the thing around Tony Stark or the Iron Man suit. And it's like doing. He starts pulling himself in. It's
Yeah.
fucking badass, and they knock him
Wushu
out.
style, you know?
Put this motherfucker in jail.
Kung Fu.
The worst kind of jail, Monaco jail.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Now
It's a bad kind
they
of
put
jail.
him in there, and Tony Stark comes in just to talk to him. He like pays the guy off, and they talk, and it's one of those like, oh, you fucked this up. You could have made this stronger, blah blah blah. And then then what's he say, Andy?
Where's my port?
Not yet. Too early. Too early. This is the palladium. Palladium boy.
Palladium, bad for your blood.
He knows. See, he knows, and he says the whole thing. Tony's like, "You failed." He's like, "I didn't fail." Well, he says it with an accent. I didn't fail, because like now they see God can bleed or whatever, and now
Yeah.
the world won't
If you
believe
could see
in him.
God bleed, would you like it?
That's not what he said.
Paraphrasing a bit there.
Really good, Andy.
So
Really
Tony
good, Andy.
leaves. He goes back home. He's still dying. We'll get to him in a second. Keep that one on the back burner because we're
Those
going
shorts
to
in the
continue
water.
with old Mickey Rourke here, the Russian. He goes into his jail cell and he gets some food delivered, and this looks like bad food. But then he picks up one and it's a bomb. And he knows it's a
The
bomb.
mashed potatoes are a bomb.
Yeah. And then another guy who looks disturbingly like Mickey Rourke comes in.
Same number.
Same number on his prison jumpsuit. Mickey Rourke knows what to do, and it's beat the ickin' shit out of this guy. Just fucking beat this motherfucker like to death.
Mashed
almost.
Kill him with a sink.
potatoes.
Damn, good
Yeah.
lord.
Yeah.
There you go.
Then he gets out of the jail cell. He puts it on the wall. They blow up the jail cell. Mickey Rourke kicks the shit out of some guys. But he gets out. Sam Rockwell's got him in an amazing piece of understated thing. Nick, I'm going to come to you on this one.
Thank you.
We talk a lot about how sometimes people don't know how to handle a joke in a movie. You know what I mean? Case in point, Ghostbusters 2016.
The whole movie.
When Chris Hemsworth continues to rub through his
Yeah.
glasses. Funny the first time, not funny when you continue to
15
call
times
attention to
later,
it.
yeah, that was
At no
horrible.
point is attention called to the fact that Sam Rockwell has those shitty fake tan hands.
Oh my God,
Where
I
his
didn't
hands are
notice
like
that until this one.
super brown orange because he's just been
So
rubbing it on, and like no
funny.
one ever makes fun of it. No one
I
ever
didn't know
references.
that.
I didn't
It's
notice
totally-
that. I didn't
it's-
notice that at all.
He's
It was
talking to Mickey
so
Rourke.
funny.
It's like, oh my God, he's got that fucking
That's
tanner
awesome.
hands.
All
That's
fake
awesome.
tan. And I love that scene. I love that scene where they take the hood off of him, and it's the stark white hanger
Yeah.
with like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Dom
yeah.
Perignon and like the jet in the back, and he's like, "Hey, what's going on?"
I
Everything
did a
about
dessert
Sam
first.
Rockwell in this
He's
makes
amazing.
me just
He's so
continue
good.
to
Perfect.
love Sam Rockwell.
So-
Not the least of which is when he does the fucking dance, and it's
Oh,
such
yeah.
a good dance.
Set to a song from
Yeah.
John Favreau's, what's the movie?
Is it Swingers?
Swingers?
Swingers.
Oh man, yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
We'll get there because we're still
Wait,
this
real
is still
quick.
the first 15th of this movie, guys.
Have they brought back Hammer Industries? I feel like one of the recent movies we watched.
Hammer was in the Netflix series somewhere.
Oh.
He
Where they
was.
talked
Yes,
about-
oh,
no, no, no,
just-
no,
No,
Hammer.
Luke Cage.
Luke Cage. Then I don't
the
know.
new
I'm
like
out of that shit.
Judas bullets are made by Hammer Industries.
Oh,
Okay.
right.
The Judas bullets.
And then he died. Judas, right?
What?
Well, yeah, Judas. Yeah,
No, what? Who?
Jesus killed him.
No, no, Jesus didn't kill him. They,
No,
they
no, no.
backwards.
I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Mahershala Ali.
Oh yeah, no, I'm with you now. I
I think we're in different books.
Justin Hammer has not come back yet, but he totally should. 'cause
But
he
like
was
the
fucking talented.
name Hammer has come back to the
Yes.
Netflix
Yes.
shows.
So back in
Fingers crossed he's coming
Malibu,
back.
we got because Rockwell wants a Russian man here,
And then he
Mickey
goes,
Rourke.
"Where's my port?
To
I
make,
want
he
my
wants
port."
his bird. He want him to make the suits. He make me all the stuff. I see your town. Blah, blah, blah. Back in
my
Malibu, we got Tony Stark dying. Can't figure this out. He cannot crack this problem, and it's getting absurd. Like the percentages are going up really quick.
Really,
And when
really
he uses
quick.
the Iron Man suit, it's supposed to kill him faster. And then we get a whole scene of him just using the Iron Man suit when he's drunk and fucking fighting
Well, because
Don
it was
Cheadle.
at
That was a great
93%, and he
No,
and he
no,
has
yeah.
that hot moment with Scarlett Johansson where he's like, "If you knew that this was your last birthday, what would you do?" And she goes, "I would do whatever I want with whomever I want."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Could you marry
She's
me?"
deep undercover, man. She's deep undercover.
So deep.
That was I like that. And I like the scene where they introduce her too, right? Where she's supposed
Yeah.
to be this like
That's later.
person
Don't skip
from
ahead.
Legal. No, I think this had already
Oh,
happened.
got it.
So-
Yeah,
This already
yeah,
happened,
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
she's
right,
person
when
from
she comes in
Legal,
and whips the shit
fight
out of
should be
Pappy,
shit
that was
out of
great.
him. That was pretty. That was a great scene.
Yeah.
Where are you
And-
from?
oh, by the
Legal?
way,
Yeah.
I totally forgot about this line, but it is the best line in any Marvel fucking movie. She beats his ass, like she gets in the ring, and Robert Downey Jr. is staring at her, and he sucks on that water thing, and he looks at her, and she looks at him, then back to him, back to her, and then back to him. He goes, "What?"
That was a great moment.
It's so good. You could tell that maybe there was something else in there, but the editor was like, "Does this work?" And Favreau was like, "Yes, that is hilarious." He said what, or he's like, "What'd you say?" So he said something.
No, it was what?
it
Yeah,
what?
I think it was what?
Oh God, it was so good.
I also shout out to this movie being better in retrospect because Black Widow, I remember first watching, I'm like, this is dumb. I didn't like her
you know how much of a
storyline and whatever.
badass she is.
But now knowing everything and seeing her introduction, I'm like, this is really
She
cool.
has. I remember watching her choreography toward the later end of the movie. 45 minutes from now, after we'll get there.
Hey man, I was given a task. I'm laying
did a
out.
great
You're
job.
giving
You did a
play by
great job.
play.
My
You're gonna play by
other,
play.
big hanging question we'll put out there for the audience while Nick tells this point is DJ AM dead or alive? I don't know.
Dead.
He's dead now.
What happened?
He
to
died in the
that?
plane wreck
Was
with
that
Travis
really? I was
Barker.
trying to
No, he
figure
did
out
not.
that.
Wait,
if it was-
really?
He did not. He did not.
What?
What?
Travis Barker and
Blink-182.
Goldstein, which is DJ AM, were the only two survivors of the 2008 South Carolina Learjet 60 crash, which killed the other 4 people on board. Goldstein hosted the 2009 MTV drug intervention series Gone Too Far, and he appeared to be struggling with his addiction during filming. On August 28th, 2009, he was found dead in his New York City apartment from a drug overdose. The DJ AM Memorial Fund, an organization designed to help people struggling with drug addiction, was launched as memory by his sister, and Iron Man 2, which was released in 2010, was dedicated to him.
Awesome.
Anyway, I didn't
Well,
like
not
that.
awesome that he's dead, but I think
I didn't like that whole scene.
The DJ
I
AM
love that scene.
The
It's
whole-
so uncomfortable.
I thought
That's
just,
the whole point of it.
What,
You're
him
not supposed to
fighting
like that
Don
scene.
Cheadle?
I thought, him fighting Don Cheadle was just incredibly corny. I didn't like the vibe
Looking
of
back
any of
at
it.
it
I mean,
again,
it
like
just-
the movie itself has actually got a lot of complex like plot lines happening, right? The one of where I think that you look back and that whole scene is designed to be like, oh, dude, what are you doing? It's so uncomfortable. Purposely because people are taking pictures of him and it's proving the point of the Senate hearing, which is like this person's not responsible enough to have this power.
Right.
But I think when you look at it, the fact
I don't mind
that
the
he
being drunk
is
part.
dying, like he's dying, he really thinks these are the last couple days, so he really just wants to have a good time. Like I think that all makes sense. I think that's why these movies are so good because of how complex Tony Stark is as a character. And the fact that
And it plays into his alcoholism a little bit
Yeah.
too.
And that's my
Oh, yeah,
biggest
yeah,
regret with this movie. Not my regret, but the thing that I didn't like about this movie is them having to do the whole Palladium thing and all that.
Yeah.
It totally should have just been alcohol.
Like,
they
he's a party animal.
Yeah, they should have went deeper into the
He has
alcohol thing
demons,
because
yeah.
that's a Tony Stark.
See, I like
Yeah,
the,
but
I
he-
like,
best story.
I
Yeah,
like the
but he
Palladium
needed to
thing
find-
because when you say the problem with this is once you make a character an alcoholic, that becomes that character's
that
flaw.
is his
But
character.
here's my
They
problem.
never
He
especially
needed to
that's
find
his
the
character in
outlet.
the comic.
But
They never
here's the thing is like I hear you, but that wouldn't be the Marvel universe we exist in cinematics.
See, I don't know though because
Yeah,
even
no
Iron
way.
Man 1, he's drinking constantly.
Sure.
And if they and even in this one, he's drinking as well. All they needed to do was kind of like question.
But
that.
he's still the happy. I mean, like this is my argument that I'll be interested to see if it holds up after because I know so many people have not argued, but hit us up, you and me, and talk to us on things about like where I'm like, the fucking Iron Man 3's ending doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make
And
any
so many
sense,
people are
yeah.
like, well, what about this line and that line? And I'm like, interesting. I'm looking forward to watching them all in
I am
context
also
again.
very excited to watch
but
it.
also the fact that it just doesn't feel like the ramifications from the movies really reverberate out as much as they should. And I feel like if you went here and you made him an alcoholic and he does have this dependency, addictive personality that like is a problem, then that would really skew the movies and who he has to be in the rest of them. Because right now,
Yeah.
it's the fun kind of he has too much fun.
Yeah.
It's not like you got a problem too much fun. It's like he's the fun guy.
Well,
yeah.
I think the whole Palladium issue is that's the only way that he's able to reconnect with his father. And watching that video and having to create this new element, like we wouldn't have any of that if it was only alcoholism. Like
Yeah, I think so, too.
He needs to have that arc with his father of like, oh,
Unless
my
the new
dad hates
element
me. I
cures
never knew my
alcoholism.
dad. And then
And
he watches the video and it's like, and hey Tony,
like
hope
that
you're watching
scene.
this. Like, I thought that was a really cool scene.
Sure.
I like when
Reconnecting
he's
with
like,
him.
I'm what is it? I'm restrained by the technology of my time.
Yeah, that's cool.
I like
Yeah,
that whole
dope
thing.
as fuck.
Yeah, I mean, I
Howard
like
Stark's
that
awesome.
if you look at Tony's sort of like journey in the first one, it's from being that asshole alcoholic to realizing that he has a purpose, and in this one, he realizes that his purpose has basically been taken away from him because his life has been cut short, and that's his conflict in this. Is realizing that he's not. It's it. This is it. He's hit the end of the road, and then once he realizes that he doesn't, he is a good person. He just needs to find back to that. But shout out to him sitting in the donut, by the way.
I
Awesome. Great
feel
scene.
like the
Great scene.
other side to this though that this movie builds on his ego isn't him building with his problem with his
Yeah.
ego and that Iron Man is becoming this. I mean, the whole intro of him coming out, flying in, having
Sig-
cheerleaders, being
successfully
obnoxious as fuck,
privatized peace.
successfully privatized world peace, and also him just being there. I'm not gonna say that I saved this. I'm not gonna say that I cured it. Whatever, blah blah. It's like. That's fucking awesome. Then him walking with the Obama poster or whatever.
Oh, yeah,
the-
yeah,
Oh,
the
yeah,
Iron
man.
Man
Yeah.
thing.
This is art.
With the Iron Man thing, just says Iron Man. It's all these things building into it. And I feel like that kind of could have worked with the alcoholism of that, with the ego and the party and all that. Whether or not take the alcohol out, because that's not what happened. I think that adding the ego stuff mixed with him partying too much, mixed with the Palladium shit, there's a lot of really interesting stuff there.
I had no problem with the DJ AM scene with him dancing or whatever. I
loved that.
California Love, let's go. When he turns on the music and it's like, play something for me when he's about to fight
drop me
Rhodey,
a fat beat.
That's where it turned into emo Peter Parker fucking Spider-Man 3.
That's a bit far. That's a bit far.
That's where I was like, no, I don't like the vibe of any of this. I love the I'm drunk and I'm irresponsible and I need to be corrected. But as soon as it became a fight between drunk Iron Man and Rhodey, it got really
but I mean,
cheesy.
I think that was all the setup to be like, hey, let me give you a reason for you to come here and take a suit.
Right, oh no, totally.
Yeah, that was his plan.
Yeah,
you know?
It was that, and I like that too. I like that line where they're like, where he's sitting across Nick Fury, and he's like, "You mean to tell me that someone stole your suit? Like that's a thing that they can
walked
do.
into your house, whipped your ass, and
suit.
took the suit.
Yeah. That's not happening. So clearly, that was his way of saying, "I'm
it was
dying."
a cry for help.
Rhodey, no, it wasn't a cry for help. It was someone has to be Iron Man. Rhodey has to be Iron Man, but I can't explain to him that I'm dying, which was the only weird thing about the whole thing. But I kind of get it. He's too proud to say that I'm dying. He tried to tell Pepper on the plane, didn't work with the weird omelet. But yeah, I think it was gross. You're going to carry the torch on. You are the person to be the War Machine or the next Iron Man.
I loved the fight that they had.
Really?
Between the two of them, with the exception of, and I feel like this ruins the scene to me where I almost feel like I'm not Spider-Man 3 levels, but it was not earned. Don Cheadle and Tony Stark having the everything that they did in that movie. Don Cheadle, I love him walking out, and the first thing he says is "It's me, I'm here, deal with it." And I'm like, what a great way to handle the Terrence Howard thing. Yeah. It's just like, fuck it, deal with it. I am me.
Great.
This is what it is. But I feel like he lost all the fun of the Terrence Howard isms of the first movie for the first third of this movie, or maybe not even third, maybe like almost half. The second half, he's a totally different character, and I thought he was a lot.
Because again, this character is just such a sliding, weird. What is he?
Morally
who is he,
gray.
and what does he do? And like, ugh.
But I just feel like he was.
I think
way
Don
too
Cheadle's
serious.
too much of a serious actor.
He's way too serious.
So many of the times he's saying things, and like when he's in the Congress scenes, it's like, oh, like you fit here. Like this makes sense.
See, I see it the opposite. I see Don Cheadle's way goofier in the role, and I love that. I thought he had way better chemistry with Robert Downey Jr. toward the tail end of this movie than he did with Terrence Howard.
Recast him
I
as
mean,
Jack
I agree,
Black.
but it's just the tail end. The beginning,
Or
it's
Kevin
like
Hart.
the character
Well, he
they
didn't have much
set.
to do in the beginning other than try to steal that. He was like constantly he had to be the serious person at the beginning because he was the one getting reamed.
I mean, he was so serious, and then
Yeah.
but that's why when he had to fight with Tony, it didn't feel like a fun buddy cop fight.
Right.
It felt like this is way too serious compared to the backdrop of Tony having DJ AM play a fucking fight mix.
Well, that's what I liked about it. It was sad. It was like it wasn't supposed to be a fun moment. It was supposed to be like, oh God, don't do this. You are two people that love each other. Don't do this. And it's seriously like Tony in the darkest part of his life. And you get that feeling. I think the reason a lot of people don't like it is because the scene was set up well, in that you get that feeling that this is a point of no return for them. If he does this and people film this, it's going to prove everyone out there right. And this is a bad, bad, bad thing that there's no coming back from. Which is, I like that, because in the Marvel universe they do have those ramifications, right? All of Iron Man 3 is like, this thing was a fucked up event that fucked me up. And like, granted, yeah, we didn't really get back to whatever, but he was like, I was fine. But I do like that they're not afraid to go a little bit darker with it.
So Don Cheadle says that he tried to make the role of Stark's right-hand man Rhodes his own, but eventually, as he went on, he realized, like, fuck, I should just go back to what Terrence Howard did. And that's why he's like, you can see it in the movie that towards the end of it, it becomes way more lighthearted and
Which
and
I
fun.
like. By the end, I like him. Yeah, like
totally.
what you're saying about it, I think rings true. Is the fight I wanted to like a lot, but I never did. And I know this is a little, weird to say about an Iron Man movie, but I feel like it was just rock'em sock'em robots. When you get down to it's two people in their Iron Man suits punching each other over, I'm like, what are the stakes here? Like, what's happening?
You know what's also weird though is I felt like some of the suit stuff didn't look as good as the first Iron Man.
Well, that's because, like we said last week, the first movie was the last time that it was practical at all.
Ah, interesting. Yeah, this
CG.
looked a little bit more. I don't know if this was by intentionally or not, but this looked the suit looked a little more plasticky in this one than it did.
There's a scene that looked
a lot more metallic.
phenomenal to me where it's at the end when him and Rhodey, Iron Man and War Machine are waiting for the drones to arrive. And they're both talking there in the
Take
sort
the high
of,
ground.
Yeah,
Do
take
this.
the hand. The big
But
gun
it's
just take the
just
high
kills
ground.
them.
Yeah.
But that scene was like, I know for a fact, because I've seen images of it, like the only thing practical is their helmets and everything else is CG'd in.
Yeah.
and you could not tell the difference. And I was just like, man, this looks
Really,
incredible.
I thought it looked so weird around where their like neck piece connected to them.
well, when they're talking, they're like the headpiece is all real.
Yeah.
But the CG is all their suit. Like,
so the neck
you
piece
could
was
not tell
actually
the difference.
practical then.
I don't know if it was the neck,
Yeah.
but the head was absolutely practical.
If last time on the Iron Man MCU review you hadn't said something to the effect of like he's only worn the suit once and it was in this movie or whatever, I wouldn't have. I like rewatching this, like when he's in the donut, when he's sitting there with Nick Fury. Now, granted, I'm not the most technical CGI guy. I was looking, I was like, fuck, this looks great. Like if you would have told me he's in a real suit, there, I'd have been like, oh yeah, he's in a suit.
I think
I love that scene so bad. It's that song. What is that song? Is it Beastie Boys? No. Bum, 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 and he's just like chilling with his glasses on, eating
hungover.
And that donut, by the way, we drive past that all the time.
Yeah.
We go to LA.
It's so funny.
It's so good.
It's weird too because that really marked a point in the movie where it felt like, oh, another movie's starting.
Which you can tell, you can start to see the hand of Marvel in that, right?
Oh, 100%.
You can start to see the part where they're like, wait a minute, what's happening? He's being locked in his house now by Clark Gregg's character, and he's got to figure out this other thing that Nick Fury wants him to figure out, but clearly knows the answer to, right? Which is like, he's like, I think you don't know your dad as much as I do. Here's a case. Good luck. Or just tell me what the fuck's going on. Like, you clearly know something more than you're letting on here.
Well,
I don't
I think
understand why
all
you're
he
doing this.
knew was that Howard Stark had left a riddle
Yeah.
only Tony could solve.
exactly.
Well, then why not be like, hey, your dad left a riddle only you can solve, and I'll point you towards some of the, you know what I mean? Like, it
Clark
just felt-
Gregg's not going to let you out.
well, no, Fury knows everything. It was very weird.
Yet they let him out to
He did
go
let-
steal the.
He
to go
snuck
get
away.
the-
He snuck away. He's Tony
In his
Stark.
Audi. That
Yeah.
was parked out front. He just walked out. and was
Great
like,
scene with getting the strawberries and the
Right.
Mexican
God,
dude.
No, I
the-
like
Believe
that.
in you. Like, I love that, dude.
the culmination of the strawberries was fantastic.
Yeah,
She's
you're
like,
allergic.
I'm allergic to one thing in this entire world.
Strawberries.
She's like,
I love-
I knew that it meant something.
That scene where he was just like, there's that thing that the moment you see, like, oh, they're gonna bring attention to this. He's like, oh, can I move this? It's really distracting.
It's such a fun movie.
That-
It
that's,
was.
and that's
It
what
was.
puts this. I guess we'll talk about the rankings later, but that's still like I think it's equal to Hulk in terms of quality, but it's just Robert Downey
really?
Jr. to me that like really sets it apart.
I think
with you.
I mean, we'll get rankings, but I think it's above Hulk. Like in terms of like, I just enjoyed this better. I thought the performances were better. I like the story more.
Sure, yeah. I don't know. I was expecting to hate Hulk a lot more, and to me, it's just having the power of Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark.
Sure.
Just
He's
sets
such
it
a
above
strong
the rest.
actor.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Sorry to interrupt you, Kevin.
No,
I
it's
was
good.
gonna say that it's the Sam Rockwell also helps pick up
Oh,
that torch,
phenomenal, man.
because if it was just 2 hours of Mickey Rourke rooting in a fucking weird lab, it wouldn't be as fun as if when Sam Rockwell always said, he's like,
Comes
"Can you
in
put, is that
every time.
helmet? Is that a
Because
helmet?
they were
Can you
s-
try putting that on your head? He can't put his head in it."
yeah.
They were
That was
such
so
polar
good.
opposite
Well,
characters.
one is a cartoony comic book
Yeah.
villain. That's the first time we've seen that in the MCU, and I liked that because it was so over the top.
Yeah.
But I liked that they were aware of that, and him dancing and him just saying he
But
has
and
that
every
one.
time he says something, there's like 3 people that clap. It's
so
good.
funny.
It's
He has
so
that
good.
one speech where he like the monologue where he goes on talking about the ex-wife bullet.
God.
Yeah,
where he's
yeah,
just
yeah.
like,
Good.
you know, when you bust a bunker and then there's a bunker underneath that bunker, and he just keeps going. He's like, he writes a book and then it reads you the book. It's like, holy shit, this is so.
And then he stops and
good.
they look at it and he goes like this. I mean, give me something.
Yeah,
here.
give me something.
Yeah,
That's such a
I
good
can't
moment.
read what you guys are doing, like a stove block over there.
So, Greg,
It's
continuing
good.
the plot to finish this guy out.
So Pepper Potts allergic to strawberries, and on the way out, Tony Stark walks over and does the worst garbage can throw of all
Just
time.
drops it.
Airballs
And there's
all
like
over.
fucking
Which you would
strawberries
think if
everywhere.
your girlfriend was allergic to strawberries,
Don't
you
want
wouldn't
him
want to throw
anywhere.
them all
Don't
over
want
her
him
office.
anywhere.
Are
Yeah,
they
no.
dating at that point?
Well, he kind of liked her.
I mean, he kind of likes her, but they're not
He
dating
wanted to
until the
make out
end of this
enough
movie,
to
right?
not kill her with the
To make it out
strawberry.
the
Yeah.
But then he also like tells her that he wants Scarlett Johansson. He's like, I want one. Can I have one? And
Yeah,
she's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
no. Like,
Oh, you can't blame him for that.
Anyways, Tony, we had kind of skipped over this, had watched these tapes from Howard Stark. He looked like a dick. He thought
Because
his
he's
dad
trying to
didn't
figure
like
out the
him.
riddle that is Nick Fury's riddle.
Yeah,
Sure.
But I'm saying he thought Howard Stark was a
Stark
dick.
looked like a dick.
And so he watched these videos. Tony pops up in the video. Howard's drinking. And then he has a little message. Blah blah blah. We look at the thing. He looks at the board, and then it's just appeared. This board that's appeared that they've never cared, but it's dusty. So Pepper has thrown out all his shit, and suddenly that includes this thing. Whatever.
Yeah. Why
and
is
it's
this
there,
board
and he looks
there?
at it, but he as
Little
he eats
convenient,
as
yeah.
he eats
Well-
one strawberry, which he should have washed but didn't. But I'll let it go. He sees something in the board.
Pedro washes them.
Wait,
okay?
I think that the board is there because he's
Stark
bringing
Expo. They're
back
doing
the Stark Expo.
yeah. It makes
So it
sense.
makes
Because
sense
it was
he
in
pulled
the
out the
video
old board.
that Stark Expo showed in the very
Yeah.
beginning.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying like,
So he pulled out that old board to be like, I'm making this again, you know?
no.
It was inspiration.
Don't buy it at all.
It was
At
in his
no point do I
office.
think he pulled out the board because he's
Maybe
doing
Pepper
that.
pulled
Somebody
it out.
else was like, you know what?
Well, Pepper plans everything anyway, so we assume Pepper pulled it out because she's the one that ties him to his past a little bit.
Just doesn't matter. There's a board there.
reality.
All right, everybody. Who the fuck cares?
We're running.
Tony
along.
drives it home. We put it there. He goes home. Jarvis scans it. Look at that. Oh, we need to pull away the fucking bathrooms. Okay.
Get a
It's an
dope ass
element we gotta
fucking
make.
Iron Man moment where he does the
Yeah.
whole like picking and choosing, making the things happen.
We get this cool. He's got to make this element. He's got to create an element. All right, cool. He starts tearing up the house.
Does it
putting
in 2
sorts-
seconds.
Yeah. Well, it took a while, but we get some awesome fucking shit of him in a tank top with his fucking thing and the
Jacked
welding
out.
goggles on. He's like
Jacked
turning.
out.
It's
Get
like,
rid of the foliage.
Yeah.
Parking lots,
Yeah.
buildings.
Yeah, that's good.
Dish the
That's good.
churro
That's good.
stands. I like, by the way, this poor house. This stunning, stunning house that has got to be worth tens of millions of dollars in the tip of Malibu. Just
Sledgehammering
gets
a hole
fucked up
through it,
every
yeah.
single time. And also, I love that he never stops for help. He's got all these agents around that he can just order around. He's like, get down here and help me with this fucking wrench. But yet somehow in a half a
likes
day
doing it.
was able to like cut through and make a fucking particle accelerator in his house.
Iron
It
Man.
doesn't make sense.
I love that.
This is
I love
small.
I love that in
It's
this one they're
very
like,
weird.
hey, we're gonna give you a little bit more of this cute robot arm, and like just to see if you can handle it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like I know you probably got tired of it in part 1,
Right.
We're
Is
just gonna
the-
give you a little dash of it,
Yeah.
and then never again.
I like them.
Wait, what do you mean?
Never again.
We can get more of it in the
He
next
makes
movie.
a triangle. It's
Yeah.
a new element. He
It's the
puts
only
it in
thing
his
he shares
chest.
from his
Palladium
house.
poisoning's over. Hip hip hooray. Meanwhile,
Instantaneously, he puts it in, and he's just like, "Ugh," and it goes away.
lots of power. Yeah, well, he's got the
Tastes
he's got
like
the right
coconut.
power. Yeah, that was fun.
He's
That
like
was
coconut
fucking
metal.
hilarious, right? Then it's Stark Expo. Mickey Rourke over at the Sam Rockwell HQ. He's got his robots ready to go because Sam Rockwell wants to make a cool impression. Sam Rockwell puts some guys in there. Mickey Rourke kills those motherfuckers. Don't worry about that.
Kills them
part.
dead.
Then it's time for the Stark Expo. Sam Rockwell comes out. He shows off the suits there. Everybody's super stoked. Pepper's in the audience with ScarJo. Then Iron Man comes in because he's put it together because Mickey Rourke calls him. He's like, I'm going to blow everybody up. I'm just a beat up piece of meat. And so then,
He talks about the cycling.
yeah,
You were right about cycling.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
a good call.
Iron Man
call.
shows
There
up,
it is.
Showing the
tries to
ego.
warn everything. It all goes fucking pear-shaped. These goddamn drones are out to kill everybody.
They're everywhere.
They got black and white screens. Their technology still looks 5 years
Well, they're
behind.
not out to kill everyone. They're out to kill
Iron Man originally. But then eventually they start doing all their stuff, all right?
And then we see the cameo from Peter Parker.
Was that really the cameo?
Parker.
Yeah,
So
that
here's
doesn't-
the thing.
It's not, but
Yes, it is.
they totally
They
came back.
retconned it. They
and-
retconned it.
No, Tom Holland said it. There's a fake report saying Kevin Feige did. Kevin Feige did not say it. Tom Holland came out and said it. Feige did an interview after and asked him about it, and he was like, I don't know what we're talking about. But he's like, yeah, I guess, because they're like, oh, Tom Holland said this because Tom Holland said it. He was like, I just thought
Good
it
on
was
you,
fun.
Tom Holland.
But it all makes sense. They're in New York. Could have been him.
He would
Why
totally, Peter would totally go to a science expo, beg his
Totally.
parents, or Aunt May,
Aunt
whoever's
May.
out. But are
Probably
the parents
not.
still
Uncle Ben's
alive
still awake.
then?
No, they're dead.
I was gonna say Uncle Ben's
wait,
still
think so.
awake.
I don't
did say
remember
that.
when they died and what the home did Homecoming
They
ever
never
go
did.
into
They
the
never
timeline?
explain it, but
No.
we're
It's
assuming
possible
that he's
they
dead.
could-
No,
Maybe
dead.
his parents left something down in a subway, and that'll never actually be figured
Exactly,
out.
the bunch of white spiders that are somehow programmed to bite him eventually. Don't worry about it. I thought it was cool. I liked that a lot. I mean, I liked it in the moment. Even I remember back in the day when he lands and he goes, "Good
Cool
shot,
moment.
kid," and flies off.
Yeah.
Like now to have the context of if that was Peter Parker and then how he would think of Iron Man and Tony Stark and then see their relationship in Homecoming. I'm excited to get
Fantastic.
to Homecoming.
Lucky little retcon there.
Exactly. So Rhodey's suit got taken over by the way. BT Dub. Sorry, I left that out. And so
Oh,
he-
they also fucking amazing scene where they're looking at all the different weapons. Like, which one do you want? He's like, I'll
we're way
take it.
past
Like,
that.
which one? All of them. He puts them all on. So we first see War Machine
Machine.
as War Machine and not just like a fucking silver
That's
Iron Man
cool.
suit. It looks dope as
It does
fuck.
look really cool.
And he has his
Red
fucking
eyes.
cannons
The
and has his
minigun,
stuff.
dude.
Well, yeah, and I love that juxtaposition between the two, right? Where War Machine is that like utilitarian, blunt fucking instrument
I mean, it's
of
in the
the
name.
military, right? And it's not. There's no fire engine red on this. It comes up. There's no luster to it. There's no
fanfare,
shine.
yeah.
It is just muted
Killing
fucking
machine.
steel of killing. And I love that. And I love this one shot where he's got one of the arm machine guns and he's blowing up like half, like he splits one of the robots in half and like the grease hits the fucking his face like blood. It's just a really cool violent scene.
I love that they had answers for a lot of that. Well, I don't know about a lot of it, but Iron Man uses the laser beams.
Yeah.
Just cuts them all in half.
Oh, right,
And my
it's like-
immediate
Oh,
thought
you'll
was
use it
like,
once.
my
Why didn't you
immediate
use it
thought
once?
was like, should have started off with that, Tony. And then
He
of
says
course,
that, he's
Rhodey
like, "Oh,
says,
it's the one-"
"Why don't you lead off with that?" And he goes, "Oh, sorry, I forgot."
Only use
Look,
the one-
it's-
no, I can only use one.
They pop
and
out.
then they pop out.
Yeah, that's cool.
Carry spares.
Meanwhile, before all that
the one
happened,
fucking
Happy and ScarJo, they infiltrate Hammer Industries because they're gonna go stop Mickey Rourke's character.
Right.
They have is a fantastic
Such a
scene.
great scene.
of Happy just fucking fighting this one guy back and forth who's gonna actually win, while ScarJo goes fucking total agents
she
of shield
has-
and takes out
Black Widow.
everybody.
Yeah.
She has. That was the first time that I'm like, oh wait, the other side characters, they could do some really cool stuff with that, because she has that particular style of fighting that I don't remember having seen prior to that, where she's doing like the hurricanranas and flipping around, very acrobatic moves.
Rey
And then
Mysterio.
she has two things that she does that is
619.
really that I was like, oh my god, I love this character. She does the thing where she slides underneath the guy's legs and then fucking knocks his nuts. Like, just rings his fucking bell, and then as she's walking away, the final guy comes up and she just maces his face.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah,
god, I'm done with
yeah.
this. And
She
I'm like,
also
that was so
hung a
cool.
motherfucker.
Yeah, she hung a dude up.
There was a lot of
His
hanging in
hands,
this
a lot of
movie.
hanging.
Because that scene was like a little more like, all right, whatever, we just saw
Three
it.
hangs.
But the scene where it cuts back to freaking Whiplash, and you just
On the
see
phone.
the guy on the
Yeah,
phone, and
the
two
two guys
legs
just
hanging.
hanging
It's like, holy shit,
pretty
that's
brutal.
That was
really
dark. That was
intense.
dark.
Yeah. So I love that, and then I love, obviously he turns around and he sees them and he's like, is that fun comedic moment where Happy's
Got
like,
him! And then he turns around.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
and
15
like,
dudes
yeah.
dead.
Yeah.
One guy's like almost dead, and he's like,
Right.
should I help that guy? I don't know.
So, anyways, yeah, now we got control. Iron Man, War Machine, they're tearing the shit up. We got these fucking drones going down.
They
left
arrest
and right.
Justin Hammer.
Yeah, they arrest Justin Hammer.
Very
Really?
backstage.
Come on.
unceremoniously. Very
what
by
do
the
you
way.
want?
Well, I mean, it's just like, hey, I'm trying to
I
help.
thought
Like,
it was-
oh, he's there, and the cops like, it's just
Well,
very weird.
what I found interesting and I liked was the fact that, like, when Gwyneth Paltrow, Pepper Potts, calls the police in front of him, he's like, don't do, all right. Like, he doesn't, like, go fucking Obadiah Stane, like, sorry, you need to do. Why are you talking like that?
But that was a weird element for me, though, because I thought there was going to be one more beat with Justin Hammer, but no, he just gets put in handcuffs and walks out, and we never see him again.
Well,
I thought it was going to be like a, no, I'm holding you hostage kind of thing, and then, like, it was going to give Pepper an opportunity to, like, do something heroic.
I just
I'm
don't
happy
think
they
that's
didn't
him.
do
Yeah,
that.
that's not him. Yeah, that's not his character. I love his reaction of like, I'm fucking rich and powerful. Why are you
Yeah.
arresting me? I love.
I'm a
sort of-
cartoon.
Yeah, exactly.
But actually, what he does is
Scooby-Doo
he
ass
acts
motherfucker.
more like
Yeah.
he would, where he goes, "Oh, you're going to try to blame this on me," and putting up a show for everyone around him. Like, I'm already starting my legal defense right
Yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah.
And I
Yeah,
thought that was kind of cool.
So yeah, all the leftover drones you already showed up. They try to fight War Machine Tony. We get a great thing of them arguing over who the big gun, or arguing over the big guns is. Then they talk about it being a kill zone. Then it's too late. They're there. Tony kills them all. Great. Whiplash shows up, and yeah, another iron fucking monger suit, but this one's got fucking the whips on it, and then he gets his butt kicked.
Great shot in that. By
He
the
doesn't
way.
actually get his butt kicked. Also,
He gets like zapped or
it
whatever.
looks like he's gonna beat them. Like he's got them both on the whips,
Right.
and it's just because they remember, like, oh,
Remember that
They do
thing?
throw
the
back to the
handshake.
fight. We can shoot our
hey,
beams.
cool, it's
Yeah,
cool.
no, it's cool. It's
Yeah.
cool. Gave it, you know.
I liked. There's a beautiful shot in that, and it should be noted that if I'm not mistaken, it's the same cinematographer that shot Iron Man. It's Matthew Libatique. There's a great shot where, as everything's kind of falling, they turn, and it's that iconic, like we're dollying back from them as they're kind of like standing almost back to back.
Oh,
yeah.
And it's just
The
a
buddy cop.
beautifully made. Just beautifully composed shot in this like tea garden, this Japanese style like cherry blossom garden that I thought was really, really cool.
And honestly, that whole scene to me is the first moment in the MCU where it's like, oh, this is where dreams are made.
Yeah.
This is the thing that we
This is fucking
fantasized
cool.
about
Yeah.
when we saw Nick Fury come out at the end of Iron Man 1, where
Yeah.
it's like, oh, we're going to get to the point where it isn't just these. We're going to see them team up.
Yeah.
We're going to see
Hulk's
these
going to be in the
do
middle
things.
of those motherfuckers at some
And
point.
it's just like, that was like the first Avengers style moment where seeing them fight, man, the choreography in that, I mean, we're real early in this fucking thing that we're doing, but I don't know how many things are going to beat that fight scene because it was awesome. I'm
It was
talking
really good. It was a
specifically
good fight scene,
pre-Whiplash,
yeah.
but it was so amazing, the choreography, seeing them fucking tear into people, seeing how Iron Man and War Machine fought differently based on their suits, like that stuff was great. And then yeah, just all the dialogue, because finally we're getting a Rhodey that feels like Rhodey.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man,
Yeah.
so good.
That's fun.
So then Whiplash is on the ground. What does he say, Andy?
Potassium, battlefield.
Yeah, he's saying that he hits a
That's
button
not
and
my
all
bird.
the bombs arm
not my
up like
bird.
they're gonna
Yeah,
all the
everything's
drones.
gonna explode.
And I remember watching this originally being like, oh, Pepper Potts is so stupid. She's on the phone. This thing starts beeping. She stands there. It didn't.
Oh, that's gonna say you lose.
Yeah,
you
he's
lose.
like-
Yeah, it didn't go on as long as I thought. I remember it going on, but then Antonio Stark also just knows exactly where she is.
Did you
Which is
say
really weird.
Antonio Stark?
Antonio Stark.
I am Antonio
and
Stark.
Tony Stark knows.
I didn't mind that so much because I think it's just such a great scene where
Yeah.
she looks over at him and they don't like stay on the shot too long. You just kind of see him come from the fucking corridor,
Yep.
stop just long enough to stop the inertia from like slamming into her body, and then boom, he's out.
Yeah.
and I was like,
great
that's
scene.
so fucking
Yeah.
cool. It was
Awesome.
so well
And then
done.
everything
Cool.
after that was awesome of them on the rooftop. The whole
Oh
dialogue.
my god, her
between-
like, I'm quitting, I'm done.
And
This
then
is over. And he's
fucking
like,
War
all right,
Machine
yeah.
behind him, the way
That
he's
was-
sitting, the way he's just like, I'm here.
I got here first.
Yeah, like you
dude,
can
that
find
was
another
so
roof.
like, oh hey, actually, I've been here the whole time. Like, it's weird that it's one roof, but yeah, that was
fucking good.
hilarious.
Which is exactly what you would
Yeah.
do if your two friends that you knew liked each
Totally.
other started making out in front of you. You're like, I gotta fuck with them.
I'm fucking
I gotta
with them.
fuck with these two
Gotta
people.
make it happen.
Yeah, yeah. And then of course he takes off with the suit.
Yep, takes off with the suit. Happily ever after.
I'm keeping this.
Yeah.
I wasn't asking. What did he say?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah. And then he takes
Oh,
off.
wait, really quick.
Little
great.
stumbly on the flying too, because I like it because he's still new.
still-
at
I
it.
like that they're all like that though.
When-
even parts with Tony with Iron Man when they have to stabilize themselves, it is that sort of like it's not perfect.
Figuring
It's
it
like
out.
still a little,
Literally, except for the moment you just commended them on, where in reality he would come in and just fucking pancake her body, crush every bone in her
like,
ribcage.
when it counts, fucking champions
He was clutch,
perform.
dog.
You see what I'm
Her
saying?
fucking blood is all over his mask.
Right.
He came in, it was his helmet to head.
For some reason, it's like the only thing that
168 miles per
can
hour.
save her is strawberries. Smearing on her face.
Eat one of these. Eat one of these.
It'll puff you up. It'll puff you up.
the scene really quick when they're fighting and the Rhodey uses the ex-wife.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, that was funny,
it was
right?
funny, but like, man, I hope someone got their money back from Hammer.
Yeah,
because I
like
didn't
that,
do
though,
shit.
because my thing is, I would have not liked that, and I
Yeah.
felt like it would have been cheesy, except for the fact that we know Hammer's character so
Yeah.
much,
Right,
and they
right.
had that
Shit
scene building up
sucked.
Yeah.
that weapon. Where I was
Yeah.
like, that's good.
Hammer tech, huh?
This is the
I
cookie,
love that.
baby.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then the post-credit scene
Yeah.
is Thor, our first shot at Thor, which
Well, just the
again,
hammer.
just the hammer. We see Agent Coulson talking, like kind of investigating
Found it.
New
Yeah.
Mexico,
Which is why he had left to New Mexico.
yeah,
early
which they
on.
mentioned in the movie,
Yeah.
which I thought was
So
cool.
good.
And
Yeah.
again, it's weird shit where it's like watching the movie the first time, I didn't really pick up on it because why would I think about New Mexico being a thing that matters? It's like, oh, it's a throwaway line. But now with everything we know, they did a really good job kind of fitting a bunch of this stuff in. And that scene actually in Thor.
Well,
Yeah,
you see,
straight up.
you
It's not even like
see-
a shot for this movie.
Yeah,
thing.
you see that circle, and then when we get back to Thor, they've built the whole complex around it, and they're trying to figure out what to do with fucking Mew Mew.
But I mean, even that
Mew Mew.
scene, the exact scene is in Thor.
No, I didn't
And you
realize
can
that.
see
remember-
Phil Coulson saying, "We found it" or whatever. Like it's identical.
That's
It's
cool.
fucking weird.
I remember
really cool.
when this movie came out. I remember like that was one of the things that I was like, man, something incredible is happening.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
we knew that they were building the universe, and like, whoa, it was.
But it's
exciting.
like, that's fucking Thor's hammer, man.
And it,
Like,
only, it only
holy
took them
shit.
6 more movies for us to actually give a shit about Thor.
About Thor. Yeah.
Sadly.
Is it
Oh,
only
man.
6?
No, it was a lot
Yeah,
more.
it was a lot more than that.
It's like, I just mean with the ones he was in.
Oh. I liked him in Avengers.
This is a long podcast.
Yeah.
That's true. That's a good point.
Let's see. Go
Hey,
go
kids
back
wanted us
down.
to explain the plot point by point. There you go.
A couple things. The Nick Fury, his first real role in one of the Marvel Cinematic movies. We've seen him in the post credits of Iron Man, but this is the first time he really like was in the movie.
First time played by Samuel L. Jackson too.
Not true.
I was just trying to get you.
Yeah.
You've done your homework.
But I mean, what a cool, fun thing about Samuel L. Jackson that's not necessarily for this movie in particular, but I don't know if everyone at this table knows. I'm sure some people do. But Nick Fury in the comics is white originally. It wasn't until the Ultimate line when Brian Michael Bendis kind of came in, made Spider-Man, and was like rebooting all the stuff where he made in the Ultimates series, which was the Ultimate version of Avengers called the Ultimates. If you haven't read it, Nick, you should fucking read
very
it.
good.
It's very good. Nick Fury's there, and he's black, based on Samuel L. Jackson.
It's awesome.
So then Samuel L. Jackson getting that role, it's like kind
perfect.
of kismet. But when you look at Nick Fury in the
Well, wasn't
comics,
it
which
because
came
of
out in
that?
like 2002, he looks exactly like
exactly
Samuel L.
like
Jackson.
that. Exactly. Like
So that's super
that.
fun.
Also, didn't he get like a 9-movie deal?
Samuel L. Jackson
There it is.
was promised that Nick Fury would be given more screen time by director Jon Favreau. Jackson almost didn't return to play Fury due to problems with contract negotiations, but secured a landmark 9-picture deal to play Nick Fury not only in this film, but in many other Marvel Studio productions. So
There it is.
that's how that all.
And shout out
Well earned.
to Samuel. shout out to Samuel L. Jackson. Literally steps in the role and fucking knocks it out of the park from the get go. There's no ramping up his character. He's like, I am Nick Fury. You're like, all right, I believe you.
But how would he say
Are
it?
you or
I
are you?
am Nick Fury.
Are you Nick
Nailed it.
Fury or are you Samuel L. Jackson?
He's Samuel L.
'Cause
Jackson the entire time.
He doesn't
love
curse
it.
enough for him to.
I'll
say
tell
it.
you one thing right
Him
now.
and Tony Stark, I'm not joining your super secret boy band. Still one of my favorite lines. I love
good.
it. I love
That's
it so
good.
much. A random note I put down, and it really stuck out to me, this movie. The Incredible Hulk had this as well, and Iron Man 1 too, but this one, it really hit home for me. man, I wish Iron Man had a theme song. I wish these characters had a fucking thing that you can relate to them.
That's a problem
I liked
in
it. It was there.
a lot of the MCU.
In all the MCU until we get to the groups. Avengers has a theme, Guardians has a theme. But like if I tell you, oh, Captain America's theme, Thor's theme, Iron Man's theme, like
You're a grand
you can't
old
hear
flag.
it at all. and it sucks because that's something the DC
Born in
universe
the US.
DC universe knocks out of the park.
Yeah.
Those characters have identifiable themes that they totally gave up on when it came to Justice League. But whatever. They built on them and they're there.
We'll get to that when we do the series where we go to the Cyborg movie.
I can't
We
wait
just do
to
the
watch
countdown
the
to the Cyborg movie.
MCU movie on the way to
There's not
Cyborg.
that many of them.
They'll feel longer though.
Yeah.
Couple cameos. Larry King, Stan Lee as
Stan
Larry
Lee.
King.
That was really funny.
I like that, and I like that for like Stan Lee's got to be in every movie, obviously, but like this time he wasn't just Stan Lee or a guy.
Well, he was Hugh Hefner in Iron Man 1.
But I see my thing with that
Hugh
one.
Hefner, like.
Exactly. My one, and maybe I misread that scene because you're actually putting an interesting perspective. For me, that was a misidentification by Tony Stark. Hey, Hugh, and like the way he turns around, I never looked at that and went, oh, he is Hugh Hefner. I was like, oh, he's Stan Lee, and Tony Stark just totally thinks it's Hugh Hefner
I
moves.
thought
Whereas this one where he's like, hey, Larry King, like he was being Larry King.
I thought in this one it was a miscommunication because like the way he
No.
reacted to it, where he was like, "Huh?"
No,
No?
maybe, but
Yeah.
he looked and wore
Right, but I think that
exact
like,
Larry King.
I
like,
thought
look
that
like.
that was the joke there, but I could have
It's,
misread
it's
that situation.
ambiguous.
Olivia Munn.
Yeah,
Yeah, right, forgot about
Porter,
that.
right?
I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, okay. And this is back when there was rumors that she was going to be Wasp. But
And now
at that
she's
point,
Psylocke.
there was
Been
rumors
good.
about everything.
She could still be Wasp. We don't know.
Bill O'Reilly.
No?
Bill
Like the
O'Reilly
old Wasp.
had
Oh,
that
yeah,
in
Bill
his
O'Reilly.
little
Oh, yeah.
cameo
Well, there was a
there,
whole bunch of
Yeah.
anchors in
which
there,
was
right?
which was cool. And little Easter eggs and trivia. About 47 minutes into the film, Tony Stark is shown looking at a photo of Ivan Vanko, who's Whiplash, being arrested. This is an actual media photo of actor Mickey Rourke after being arrested on drug charges when he was younger.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, so that's a
How
fun
fun.
little thing.
Also, are we just in Easter eggs?
These the Easter
There's
eggs.
the Hulk footage when they're.
Yep. So going to the universe building aspects of this, Howard Stark introduced in this
Recast.
we've seen him recast for the
Yeah,
first time,
yeah.
but this is the first time we really see him. And again, when I watched this movie the first time, I was kind of like, okay, whatever. I get you're just Tony's dad,
Walt
not really
Disney.
thinking about it. But then you get to Captain America, and there's like these movies are really fucking building something. That's
Yeah.
cool. Black Widow's introduction, like we talked about, Nick Fury having his first real thing there. And then, yeah, just building into the Coulson being like, oh, the director needs me in New Mexico, leading into Thor, Captain America's shield. What a
course.
great bit of him. This is
You know what
exactly
this is?
I need. And then just fucking put it under. So funny.
It's weird that the shield, by the way, had like a structural integrity to it, like had multiple layers. I never caught that before.
Yeah.
I thought it was just one piece of vibranium.
It's vibranium
that they
straight
just
up.
painted. Yeah.
Well, they're still
Well,
fixing
I
it.
mean,
don't
like
know.
also
Is it-
that could be not his shield. Like
Yeah, because
one of the
when
test
they give
ones.
him the shield, right? Isn't it just? It is that solid piece. In first Avenger, I thought it was just.
We'll have to find out in 2 weeks.
We'll find out soon, everybody.
The Hulk news scene is the actual scene straight from the Hulk that we saw
Yeah.
recorded last week. And then the Tesseract is in Howard Stark's journal.
Oh,
yeah,
really? I
Yeah,
totally
they
missed that.
drew that. The
Yeah,
square.
yeah, I've been working on that.
Can I touch your face?
No, why? Stop.
Do it. Get in there.
Touch
Nobody
Kevin's
likes
face
that.
while I'm touching your face.
God damn it.
I have a cut in my hand from something. I have a
What
phantom.
happened? Oh no.
Greg, a lot of people on the internet, a lot of people in this room want to be part of the Chillin' with the Villains podcast.
They have been saying that.
And I'm fine with that. We can let more people in, but we have to make an even better villains podcast.
Okay.
And it's just you and I, and it's rad guys talk about bad guys.
Okay.
All right?
Perfect.
So
Perfect.
we can start the Chillin' with the Villains podcast right now if you'd like. I guess everybody's included now.
I would also like to be in the Chillin' with the. I don't know if my.
Well, that one's
membership
done
was
now. Now
approved.
it's Rad Guys
I don't know.
talking
Well,
about
no,
bad
I mean,
guys.
Chillin' with the Villains is like a not really inclusive group. Like,
I would also like to put my name
mean,
forward for
everybody-
Rad Guys
Rad
versus
guys
Bad
talking about bad
I
guys.
think
you
Nick's a
and me.
rad guy.
Follow us right now on Twitter for Rad Guys talking about bad guys at Ragu Bagu.
Ragu Bagu Vids.
Well, okay, so talking about the villains, the main two villains of this movie are Justin Hammer and Whiplash.
Oh, okay.
So
I feel like they were both cartoon characters. Whiplash was like the extreme, like I'm bad, I don't care about anything, and
My
Hammer is
dad's
the like
dead.
I'm a super villain, you know?
yeah, I feel like the Whiplash stuff, they did a pretty decent job of making it a believable thing of why he's angry with the whole.
But at the end, his dad
combination.
was a bad person, right?
And, well,
like, isn't
yeah.
that what like?
Yeah, but I don't
Nick
think he
Fury's
knew
like,
or cared about that. I think he just felt his dad got the
got
raw
fucked
deal.
over.
Yeah, I know, but it's funny that like
Plus in Russia, they go
and
by a
they're-
different set of standards.
Yeah, and they're poor
I don't think
and
so. That's why he
dying
ended
and
up
in a
going to
really
jail. Both ways.
like low place in Russia. Like,
Yeah.
and he sees, compared to the Stark family and how
Yeah.
rich
What
and
they're doing.
grandiose everything is. Yeah, he's like salty about it all. Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like they simultaneously over-explained all that and under-explained the interesting parts. So I didn't really love that, but I loved Whiplash as a action centerpiece
Yeah.
where
Sure.
like he was fucking cool.
Just weird hair though, man.
He had very weird hair. It was the
hair
blonde
choice.
streaks.
What's
in it.
funny is
Yeah.
I remember it differently than it was. Here I'm like, okay, it's kind of like gray streaks. I think that's what they were going for. But I swear to God, I'm glad I watched the movie again because I thought he had the same hair that Chris Kirkpatrick had from NSYNC, where it was like shoelaces
beaded-
tied
the
into it.
bead-
I don't know what. Yeah,
Did it not have shoelaces tied in it?
no, I think
he
it was
looked like
just
a pirate
dyed
to me.
Yeah, it was.
Because
very
what made it
weird.
really odd and like
me all
not
the tats.
villainous is when he would put it up in the little hair bun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
little-
I'm like, this is just
The original man bun.
like he didn't look like that didn't like exemplify what a villain is to me.
But
He
like
just
that was
looked
his cool hacker mode when he had his little glasses on.
There was also one
was cool.
part.
I like that.
Was that cool?
There's
I
a
like
couple
that.
different things that I saw in this, but the one that stood out the most was in like there's one shot of him very well lit where he's like out and his chest is kind of out, and you can definitely tell it's makeup that's drawing in his pecs.
Oh yeah,
It's weird. If you go back and look, it's one of the shots where he's like working on the drones. Very weird.
I mean, I love how Mickey Rourke played the character. I just
Yeah, it's cool.
I by far like Justin Hammer more.
yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I loved Whiplash's weapons though.
Yeah.
Like they were really cool. They were pretty unique for what we've seen even going forward.
I think he's probably the most as far as the actual like because there's always like the intellectual villain and then there's like the brute force villain. As far as like the brutes in this series, I think he's the best of the Iron Man series.
I love the scene of him when he's walking towards Tony with the whips and he's like aggressively
The
whipping it.
ground,
And that
yeah,
was from
that was really cool.
one from one of the trailers.
Yes,
and I just had a flashback to like watching the trailer for the first time and
Getting
being so
excited.
stoked for it.
Fucking cool.
Yeah, it's really aggressive and like I don't know, just monstrous.
Where
This
does he
is our
rank?
first dual villain. Yeah. Are we ranking them as a team
Separate,
because
or-
they're in the same movie, or are they individual
well,
people?
is this our first dual villain? Like with Incredible Hulk, there was the General and
But we didn't rank. We didn't put
Abomination.
Ross on the fucking list. It was
Time to go back
Abomination
and rectify
versus
that mistake.
Obadiah Stane.
I mean, I guess.
Hammer shouldn't be put on the list because he's not a full blown
Yeah, I
villain.
guess the
He's just
Whiplash should be the villain.
Yeah.
Okay,
Of this.
just making sure I understood.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. I mean, Justin Hammer broke the law and got the bad guy out of
killed
jail
people to get him out of
to
jail.
hire him. Like that's pretty.
Yeah, I know, but, like,
villainous.
what are
He
the-
also-
yeah.
The
he
thing
also
that made
totally
the bad
ruined
guy
mashed
happen.
potatoes. Think about that. They can't eat those mashed potatoes now. I was bombing them.
You're right, dude. That's true.
Like
great
that doesn't ruin mashed potatoes forever though.
I say we
Killed it
put
for
them
everyone.
together.
Okay.
Hey, man, mashed potato,
the
mashed
Iron Man
potato.
3
Can we take a
villains,
quorum of the
Okay.
official members
Yeah.
of
Two
Rad Guys
villains,
and Bad Guys?
Yeah.
No,
I think
don't
is-
try
am
to
I
get
in
to
this?
rad guys
The-
on bad guys.
Am I in this? Am I
Rad
chilling
guys
with-
on bad guys. All right, right here.
I guess we can include more, and then we'll have a new podcast next week.
I liked the villains in this movie. I thought they were very good.
Did you like
and they
them
were
more than our
entertaining.
previous?
Exactly.
villains?
Let's rank them, bitch.
let's
Get
rank
out.
'em.
Get,
Yeah, I
Yeah,
did.
do it,
Get off
bitch.
the fucking
do it,
bench.
bitch.
Swing the
did.
bat.
Do it. Rank
No,
them.
no questions. I
I
don't know
did
why
too.
everyone's so fighting.
I agree.
I
Here's-
think that
I didn't hear the ranking.
Tim
They're number
Roth's
one,
character
I
in
think,
Hulk
right?
Yeah.
had a
where we're
lot better of a character arc, and he was more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I liked Mickey Rourke and Sam Rockwell just because they were more entertaining. That's really the only reason why I like them more.
I agree with you.
I think that what's it? Abomination was a stronger villain just because it was one that did the role of the two.
Yeah, Tim Roth.
Yeah. So I think he's a better villain. I don't like the Abomination part, but I equally don't like when he actually when Mickey Rourke puts
yeah,
on the suit
the
and
suit.
becomes Whiplash.
Sure.
It's just
We still haven't
it feels
had-
more the same.
Somebody who knocked out of the park on all accounts.
Right.
But I would say for me personally, yeah, it's Iron Man 2 guys. Then I'm gonna say Obadiah Stane. Then I'm gonna say.
He's Obadiah Stane.
I'm
really?
sorry. I
just don't
even
feel
right
like
now,
really?
I'm just like
he
even
doesn't make sense. As like,
Reflecting back, I enjoyed
he's
him
a
more.
CEO who decided.
Yeah, but-
He's a CEO who put on a suit.
Listen.
I'm gonna do that too.
Listen, Kevin, you're missing the part where he talks real close to people. He's like,
He was more entertaining throughout the movie. Even thinking back now, I just Tim Roth. All right, you know what I mean? No, he's a dead fish to me, and Abomination sucked.
dead
when he
stick,
became a
man,
big
dead
guy.
stick.
I've had a week to
know,
think
man.
about it, and Tim Roth did not age well. But Obadiah Stane continues to be great.
I'll
Just
agree with
'cause
Greg
he's
on
fun.
this. I'll agree with Greg on this.
Tim Roth's like journey makes way more sense than
It kind of does.
anyone
but he's
else.
just
in my
he's a
opinion.
one-note
Especially
guy.
Obadiah
Yeah,
Stane.
especially Obadiah Stane.
Yeah, I mean that's.
But like we're having fun here. This is favorite
Yeah,
villains. You know
yeah,
what I
I
mean?
think on a.
Is it favorite
It
villains?
is
I thought
now.
it was best.
I don't know what it is.
That's why we need to figure out this villain thing
Or are
because it
they
doesn't
worse?
fit with this discussion.
Are they worse?
I mean, we're all just killing time till the best guy shows up. Yeah, I spit on you. You spit on me all the time.
Yeah,
talking.
I'm not saying it's a big deal.
In terms of action, I thought this movie did really good. Like the Monaco scene had some lulls in it, and
But it
was
still was
kind of
cool
weird, but
initially.
was still
Yeah, it
very
was
cool.
like- yeah, it was
Had
a
lot of
little too long, I think.
The Iron Man versus War Machine fight was, I think, not earned.
Awkward.
But
I
like we
agree.
talked about.
Wait,
had some
which one? Like
issues.
the first?
Yeah,
Oh,
and then
okay,
the
yeah,
Iron
got it.
Man with War Machine versus drones fight, fucking awesome.
Awesome.
Iron Man with
The-
War Machine versus Whiplash, all right, but weird.
I really, really liked the Iron Man running away from all the drones. Initially, I remember the first time I watched this, I was like, what a dumb scene, like all these drones. But like rewatching it now, I was like, shit, that
moves
was
pretty
really
fast and
cool.
it's
Like
choreographed
the
well.
choreographed, yeah, was
Yeah,
really good.
so I enjoyed that. Comedy, I thought this movie killed it. But again, any movie fucking focusing on
Robert
Tony
Downey
Stark is
Jr.
gonna do that.
and Sam Rockwell definitely helped out a lot.
So now the question: we've talked about all the other things. How does this movie stand alone? I don't think very well at all.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I
This
think
is-
as we go deeper into these movies, they're gonna stand alone.
Less
What
and
are
less.
you judging them on the standalone basis, though?
Everything. Because going into this movie, I feel like there's so much that is just expected that you know, like his relationship with Pepper, who the fuck Pepper is, like all that stuff. Like it starts off and it's like him giving her CEO-ship, and there's a lot of things that I'm like, wow, okay, we're getting the comic book territory of there's so many storylines going on, especially when they get to the point of now different movies starting. Here's the donut, here's Samuel L. Jackson, and there's a lot of
I mean,
different plot threads
Is
going.
it fair to judge it as a standalone, or should we judge it as a sequel? You know, like a
I think the
sequel to
movie
like.
stands alone fine. Like I don't agree. I think what like it's hard for me to wrap my head around that these two have a personal connection. She's his assistant, but she does all the work. She explains that I do everything while you're out there being Iron Man, and then he gives
I
her.
think the Nick Fury part is what sort of throws it off.
Yeah, I mean, don't get too caught up on the Pepper stuff.
well, that's
It's
what
just-
you were trying to say, sir.
That was part of what I was trying to say. The other half is what
defense
Andy was
rests.
saying, and it's fantastic.
Bad guys
But
on
there's
bad
there's a
guys.
lot of
No,
shit
that's
that,
odd.
that builds on that. But I don't know. I felt like compared to the other movies, I think Iron Man and Incredible Hulk stand alone completely. This movie is the first time that it really feels like it's setting up a whole bunch of other movies.
Yeah, I see that.
I think it still stands fine on its own, though. I can see it
stands
setting,
fine. I mean,
but
stands
every
fine.
fucking movie sets
Hey,
up a sequel.
agree or disagree?
Don't tear apart rad guys on bad guys.
No, Nick.
Now
three- all three of
it's
us.
time for the ranking.
Okay.
Now it's time.
It's a long day.
The standings so far are Iron Man 1, number 1.
Uh-huh.
The Incredible Hulk, number 2.
Yep.
Sure.
Where does Iron Man 2 stand?
Right in the middle.
Right in the middle.
I agree.
Right in the
Yeah.
middle.
Number 2.
Yeah.
Iron Man
No
2 is
question
number 2.
about
yeah,
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's everyone agrees on that.
So
That's
far,
good.
Done.
we
That was
totally
easy.
agree on
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Next week is going to be interesting
Yeah.
when we talk about Thor.
Ride the lightning.
Ride the motherfucking lightning. It was Thor,
Colin, ride the
Ride the
lightning.
lightning. I think that may be the
remember
first week where we don't all agree on where
Yeah,
it
it's
places.
quite possible.
Right, and so before we go in there, and so I guess you've already watched Thor, you said?
I've already watched it too.
Oh, fuck, then forget it. That doesn't work then.
And I will say, because I don't think you guys know what my thoughts were on Thor. I was totally wrong. And I think differently than I used to.
I remember.
That's good.
I
That's good.
remember.
I feel like that's our thoughts on a lot of these movies so
So here
far.
we go. Here we go. My thoughts, having not watched Thor since it was in theaters, was when I left, I was like, no, that was a movie. It was a. I don't want to say it was a Marvel movie because I don't think we knew what that was yet. But I remember being pleasantly surprised because he was drinking beer and being a person for a while, and then I remember being like, when they marched down the street in their Asgardian wear, I was like,
was
this
weird.
looks so fucking fake.
Well, yeah, the
This looks
street
so
looked
dumb.
really bad, but we'll get there.
The juxtaposition of these fucking people in their plastic armor.
Well, I think that was the point.
Nope.
No,
it was not
It was
I
not
think-
to make them look like jokes.
I think
and
when
they
you
look like a joke
rewatch
to
it,
me.
you'll see that the street looks fucking weird.
We'll see what we have
Yeah,
to say
Kenneth
about that.
brought an interesting choice of director for Thor.
I mean, we'll get to this conversation next week, but thank you guys all for watching this. Let us know in the comments what your rankings are so far. Remember, please subscribe to this on iTunes, subscribe to youtube.com/kindoffunny. And until next time, I love you.
Let us know what you think on Twitter. #MCU in review.
And follow our new
Have a
account
marvelous
at
day.
Ragu Bagu.
And everyone have
I'm
a
not doing the vids unless if Ragu Bagu is taken.
I'm just saying, let's get ahead of this problem.
have a
Call Ragu
marvelous
Bagu.
day.
There it is.